Welcome to the Best 5-Minute Wine Podcast. I'm your host, Forrest Kelly. From the seed to the glass, wine has a past. Our aim at the Best 5-Minute Wine Podcast is to look for adventure at wineries around the globe. After all, grape minds think alike. Let's start the adventure. Our featured winery is... We continue our conversation with Dean Andrews of Pippin Hill Farm and Vineyards. The wine industry has a $5 billion economic impact on the state of Virginia, and Virginia ranks in the top 10 of most wineries per state. So I imagine, Dean, that you were always looking to improve and enhance the experience of when people come to visit your property.
We also have been looking at what we can do when people get here. We have a garden map, so if they want to take some time to actually get to know the property a bit more, you can do a self-guided tour of the vineyards and understand what is planted where. You can go down the garden and see what the seasonal variation is bed by bed. You can go over and play with the chickens for a while and then come up for your table. So it is a delivering on that full farm experience.
Okay, let's suppose that I'm in the area and I'm going to Washington, D.C., visiting the Smithsonian Institute and checking out the Struggle for Justice exhibit, and I want to visit Pippin Hill Farm and Vineyards. Tell me what happens after that.
You're in Washington, you want to come down here on Sunday and have the 2-hour wine experience and the food and wine experience and the garden tour and all of that. You can go on our website and you can pick the date and the time, size of your party. You click on it. You have a confirmed table for that time, and then we're able to communicate with you in advance to set expectations, answer any questions, and so we know that you will actually be showing up on that time. And it's great because 95% of the people that book show up.
So after I do the 2-hour wine tasting experience, I'm getting hungry, so want to get some food. What is that step like?
So when you come here in our tasting room, every single dish we serve along with our wines as part of our wine pairings. We don't do the traditional thing where you come in and you just do wine tasting and wine pairings. We have it set up with food. So every dish has 1 or maybe 2 wines that are specifically designed to be paired with that dish. So you come in, it's sort of like small plates. So you come in with small plate cuisine experience, and we have the equivalent of a chef's table, which we call the vintner's table. Anywhere from 8 people up to 12 people that can be 4-course, 5-course that are paired with our wines. So it really presents a real-world example of how the cuisine and the wines parallel each other.
This place inspires me. To come to work every day and look at this view is magical, and being able to pick things fresh from our chef's garden gives me even more respect for my ingredients and the environment. That's a direct quote from your chef.
Ian Ranecki was one of the top catering chefs in New York and Manhattan. He and his wife wanted to leave Manhattan and come down and settle in a quieter, smaller town for the next chapter in their lives. So I have a strong culinary team. Diane has 3 people working for her on the viticulture side, and we have a full garden. In the last 2 years, we've added on chickens, and we've got our own bees. So we make our own honey. We've got chickens, we've got gardens. So it really is a complete story.
Whenever I go on vacation and I visit someplace memorable, I love to bring back a little souvenir, a little reminder of the great time I had. And you've come upon a great idea.
We put together these terrific small glass bottles where people can custom select what wines they want to taste. We give them tasting notes and a card, and because they have these vials, they can actually go and they can self-determine how quickly they can try one and try the one next to it, and they come back to us and they show us their notes. So again, it's about having an engaged experience where people feel like they're part of it. It's 4 bottles in this really cute little case, and we give them glasses, we give them the notes, and they can go out on the lawn and they can do it. They can go down in the garden and taste it. So it really just allows them really to control it. So you aren't standing at a bar with somebody talking to you. You really are able to experience it on your own, and then we check in for any clarifications on what does it mean if you've got a low acid wine, what does it mean if you've got something which is more robust on it with high tannins, that kind of stuff. It's been interesting how we have changed the model, focusing on it from what the customer experience would want to be, and then how we can deliver that elevated customer experience.
Thank you for listening. I'm Forrest Kelly. This episode of the Best 5 Minute Wine Podcast was produced by iHizzle. If you like the show, please tell your friends and pets and subscribe. Until next time, pour the wine and ponder your next adventure.
This is Doug Vincent with the podcast Walk and Roll Live, Disability Stories. In 1956, I contracted polio. Thanks to my loving parents, I've lived a full, rich life over the past 67 years. Join me as I share my journey and uncover inspiring stories of resilience. This podcast is a platform for survivors of disability and those who champion services for the disabled community. Tune in on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, whatever your favorite podcast platform is. Let's walk and roll together on this incredible journey of strength and empowerment.